Miss Santana, please have a seat. Thank you. Oh, you're wondering where your friend Miss Barbosa is. Well, right about now, she's in a plane over the Mediterranean, headed home from Africa. Yes. Well, I'm very sorry that she didn't bother saying goodbye before she left. But quite frankly, she was very eager to leave after that unfortunate incident that took place yesterday. Miss Santana, I don't think you understand the seriousness of what took place yesterday. Your friend Miss Barbosa realized it, and that is why she left. Now, I would strongly advise you to do the same. You want to stay. Wonderful. Miss Santana, when you came here a few days ago, I thought the problem was going to be minor. After our first conversation, I realized that there was the possibility of a miscommunication, but I never thought that you and Miss Barbosa would do something this stupid. Oh yes, Miss Santana, I'm fully aware who your father is. He's the vice president of the pharmaceutical company that I work for. Thing is, I was hired by the president, and I've done an excellent job here in this African village for the last 4 years. So being a little bit rude to you is not going to get me fired. Now, one thing you need to understand, this is one of the poorest nations in all of Africa, and that's saying something right there. And this particular village used to be one of the poorest in this nation. That was about 4 years ago, before I arrived. Now, the people enjoy clean running water. Trust me, before we got here, you definitely didn't want to drink the water. Not only did it look like mud, but it literally had mud in it. The houses were in horrible disrepair. There were flooding issues whenever it rained. Food was in short supply, and there used to be raiders and bandits constantly going through this place. The only reason why they stopped, quite frankly, is because there was almost nothing left of value to steal. Now you seem surprised by that. You shouldn't be. I had hoped that your father had explained to you that things work differently here than they do back home, but apparently they didn't. So allow me to educate you, Miss Santana. This is Africa. Things work very differently here. Now, the pharmaceutical company I work for, they made some mistakes in India. Some huge mistakes. It took a lot of high-priced lawyers, a lot of bribery, and a huge chunk of money in general, especially in fines, and paying off the victims in order to fix everything. Since then, the company has pulled out of India and is concentrating their efforts in Africa. Now, over the last 4 years, this pharmaceutical company has enjoyed an excellent reputation in Africa in general, and a particularly stellar one in this village, something that you and your best friend almost ruined yesterday. What were you thinking? 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 Miss Santana, I thought I had made it very clear. The neighboring village wants nothing to do with us. Nothing. There was a different pharmaceutical company that came here about 20 years ago, and the things they did to the people of the neighboring village could only be described as horrendous. So, is it really any wonder they don't trust anyone from any pharmaceutical company outside of Africa? Is it any wonder? Is it? Is it? Is it? Is it? Is it? Is it? Is it any wonder, Miss Santana? There is literally a wall separating this rather large village from the other rather large village. And what did you and your friend do? You climbed over that wall. That was stupid. And quite frankly, the two of you were very fortunate that the guard on duty on the other side of the wall for the village that you trespassed into, you're very fortunate that he knows how to follow orders. You're very fortunate that he's a professional soldier. Many of the so-called soldiers in the area are nothing more than former raiders who were told, now you're soldiers, keep your gun, we're gonna ignore all of the brutality, all of the horrific things that you did, especially to women, before you officially became soldiers. So, they were all granted amnesty for the quite frankly horrendous and atrocious deeds they committed. Miss Santana, you were very fortunate that you and your friend were not brutalized in horrible ways. You were very fortunate that the soldier simply pointed his gun at you and took you to his commanding officer. And you were also very fortunate that that commanding officer contacted me. Yes, I know that commanding officer. We have a sort of truce with the village on the other side of the wall. He contacted me. Thankfully, he had no clue that you are the vice president's daughter. He just thought that you and your friend were a couple of very naive but good-natured relief workers who volunteered. And quite frankly, Miss Santana, the only intelligent thing you did was you kept your mouth shut about being the vice president's daughter. So he contacted me. Miss Santana, what is it that you do not understand? What is it? Here's what happened. He contacted me. He mentioned what happened. I pretended to be very grateful that he had found two of our relief workers who accidentally wandered off because they were a bit dehydrated. And I said I would show him my gratitude. That gratitude came in the form of money. Yes, other side of the wall. That's how things work here in Africa, Miss Santana. Bribes are common. Many people here are dirt poor. You can't get morally upset with them for accepting bribes or even offering bribes. That's how things work. What is it that you don't get? You notice how most of the African soldiers walk around with short machetes attached to their belts. Does it look like there's a lot of brush out here that needs clearing? Let me tell you something, Miss Santana. Those soldiers, many of them are former raiders and bandits, granted amnesty by the government. They used to use their machetes more for chopping off body parts than they did for clearing brush. Do you see a lot of brush around here? No, you don't. That's what I'm talking about when I say brutality. And once again, in case I didn't make it clear, those former raiders and bandits who are now soldiers, yeah, they still carry their short machetes. Once again, there's not a lot of brush out here. Miss Santana, why do you think that the neighboring warlords have not attacked this village in 4 years? It's because I bribe them not to do so. That's right, they're unofficially on the payroll. Many of the soldiers that we have protecting the relief workers are former bandits. Because that's how things work here, Miss Santana. I just don't understand why you don't get it. I'm sorry, but you are horribly naive. The very soldiers who protect you and all of the relief workers and volunteers we have, heck, my own bodyguards, are all former bandits. We pay them very well. We bribe the local military officials. We bribe the two most powerful local warlords not to come in here and attack this place and murder everyone. Do you get that now, Miss Santana? I've been here for 4 years. This place has running water. They have electricity. They have food. The locals have jobs. There's prosperity here. People here are happy. And the only reason why any of this is going on is so that the pharmacy can talk about this wonderful humanitarian effort and get tons of excellent press in the media. That's why. You think your father did this out of the goodness of his heart? Please. Everyone knows what type of reputation your father has. He cares about you, his wife, himself, and money. And quite frankly, I'm not sure which of those things he cares about most of all. This humanitarian effort is here for good publicity, and this pharmacy needs good publicity after everything that happened in India. And then you and Miss Barbosa decided, hey, let's go exploring. This is not Europe. This is not Beverly Hills. This is not some island paradise. This is a place where very poor people struggle to put food on the table. This is a place where parents often go without food so that their children can have something to eat, a crust of bread, a little bit of soup. That's how it is in most villages. Yes, the village on the other side of the wall is in horrific poverty, but they don't want our help, so we leave them alone. We don't trespass. They don't want our help. We've tried to convince them to accept it. They've refused. And the last time we tried, one of my assistants nearly got shot. They don't want our help. We leave them alone. I just don't understand why you and Miss Barbosa couldn't understand that sooner. Honestly, you need to be on a plane headed back home. Years of work, of effort, nearly destroyed because you and your friend decided to go exploring on your own. You were so extremely lucky. That soldier on the other side of the wall did not brutalize the two of you. Quite frankly, if he or his commanding officer, had they known who you are, it would have cost a hell of a lot more than a few thousands of dollars to get you back over the wall safely. Look, go home. Go home to where you belong. Tell your father that. Honestly, tell him whatever the hell you want to. I don't care. He can't do anything to me or anyone here. But if you insist on staying, I'm assigning 3 bodyguards to always be with you. One of them is going to be female. That's right, she's gonna follow you into every single damn bathroom to make sure you don't try to sneak away, because obviously I can't trust you. This conversation is over.